Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girlz is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now a captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
It's great to be here. I know that you're probably the biggest supporters of the Reggae Girls. So what you do and the message that you spread for the girls, it's really appreciated.
Crystal, I gotta give it to her. I've heard a lot of guys say she's the reason why they start off to watch female football. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm pushing her out there to keep on doing your thing. Don't get discouraged. You have a band of brothers behind you. And what we try to do is to get female who think like you know, in the game. Right, Siobhan?
Yeah,
so respect to you, Crystal, and keep fighting.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, a lot of persons, because I think the Reggae Girls has been the most successful team in our football, and I think a lot of that was underrated. So what you've done for the local aspect of Jamaicans, you've brought that sense of admiration to the persons know that, hey, it's not just the boys, the females as well. The females have the love as well. And honestly, if it wasn't for someone like you, Crystal, the YouTube space would just be crowded with the Reggae Boyz, Reggae Boyz, Reggae Boyz.
Yeah.
Yeah, call outside, you know. How much touch that? Pressure me not shot. Alright. Give me. I call shot outside, you know. Yes. Wait a minute. Man, call it, man. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play. 1, 2. 1, 2. What? Shot. Coming out. Set up thing. Okay, put sync now.
Would help if I unmute myself. My apologies. My Talawers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. So let me know how you guys are doing. Let me just readjust myself. See if I can get something up on screen for you guys. Quickly check the comment section. What I'm looking for. So guys, how we doing? How we feeling? Have we gotten over the defeat? It's funny enough, I'm still having people send me messages saying that they cannot believe we took an L at the hands of Guatemala. That one hurt. Bit of bruised ego. Is it bruised ego? Didn't see that one coming. Cat got your tongue. What is it? It just goes to show that you just in life you just cannot be complacent. You might have the better team on paper, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the match itself, if you're not up to the task, then anyone can get beat. And as I said on my last live stream, perhaps that defeat against Guatemala came at perfect timing. Hopefully the boys would have learned a invaluable lesson, and I'm hoping from here on out, as we edge closer and closer to those all-important World Cup qualifiers, they're nearing the latter stages of the year, that this could prove to be a turning point. I'm hoping that from here we just go on an upward trajectory, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. So let me know how you guys are doing there in the comment section. Want to know how you guys are doing. What day is it today? It's Thursday. Feels like it's been such a drag. I think that defeat took a lot out of me, guys. As I said, when I finished that game in the early hours on Tuesday, it just felt like I had a long-winded week. So maybe my body is still feeling like that, still feeling tired, hoping that the guys will be back on track tomorrow night in their game against Guadeloupe, or what will be match day number 2. So, have you guys caught up with the press conference by any chance? Let me know if you've caught up with the press conference. If not, don't worry, I do have you covered. I will be sitting back and listening to the press conference with you guys, and then from there I'll be sharing my thoughts. But before we dive into that, let's go ahead and bring ourselves back up to speed. Let's remind ourselves that we are competing in the 2025 Concacaf Gold Cup. We've already kick things off with match day 1, a defeat at the hands of Guatemala. They defeated us 1-0. 1 goal was all it took to take 3 points away from us. Tough pill to swallow, but it is what it is. I should think by now the players would have gotten that one out of their system, and just are fully mentally and physically prepared for match day 2. Just to reiterate, the 4 group winners and 4 runners up, 8 teams in total, will advance to the knockout stage. And we will take a look at how the rest of the groups are looking. I know you guys have probably been keeping your eyes on the competition elsewhere. I know I have been doing so. I think the last game I watched was Costa Rica versus Dominican Republic. Good game as a neutral. I'm not sure if you guys have caught up on any other game outside of the Reggae Boyz. Let me know if you have, and which team has so far impressed you the most. All right, so what we can do, guys, is I can go ahead and line up that press conference there. That one was done earlier on, maybe 2 hours ago, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and play that press conference for you guys, and we can go ahead and give it a listen and also share our thoughts, okay? Actually, let me know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to try a different way of playing this press conference. I'm going to play it in about 3 seconds. Let me know if you can hear it, okay?
Kerry James, Football United coach. Nothing ideal start to the tournament. Obviously with a lot, but gonna talk about the mood in the camp and some of the factors in terms of how you select the team for tomorrow, and we have a few more players available as well.
We've very disappointed on against Guatemala. Not the ideal start, and we just said we have to win the next 2. And the next one is tomorrow against Guadeloupe. So we need a reaction from the team, a reaction from everybody. The mood is, I think after the game, very disappointing, but the mood is lifted. And we're preparing for the game tomorrow, and hopefully better performance and result.
Question for Roman. It's been a quick rise for you in the national team, got called to the Unity Cup in England, and now your first tournament. What are your first impressions of being in camp with Jamaica?
For me, it's a great experience playing all the players who have been in Jamaica camp. Players have been abroad last year, so for me, playing in London, that was really great.
Yeah, I do agree with yourself, DC. The volume isn't great. I've listened to this one maybe twice now, and the volume isn't great. So I should have actually given you guys that bit of information. So it is a little bit of a hard listen, but unless my ears are fooling me, I think the quality gets better as the press conference progresses. So yes, you're absolutely right. The quality isn't great. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure how this one was recorded. I'm not sure if they used a dictaphone or their mobile phones. I'm not really sure how this one was recorded in terms of the audio itself. But yeah, you're correct. The audio isn't great, but it should get better for you guys, okay?
Out to Jamaica.
So we're going to debut. How did that feel?
You know, dream come true. See, I was trying to get on school level, internationally. Coach Gary Graham, JFF Live. Yeah, coming off the defeat, what are you now saying or doing to the team to get them refocused in Guadeloupe? Make sure that focus is there and don't linger effect of the last game.
Yeah, that's always the challenge. And, you know, not just myself, the coaches, but the responsibility of the players also. They're very disappointed after the game. We said it was going to be a different game against Guatemala, and it certainly was. And this one also will be tomorrow. So.
Okay, so since I am concerned that it's sounding a little bit muffled for you guys, like I said, it was a bit of a difficult listen when I listened to it the first time. I'm going to try and play it another way for you guys. Let me know if there's any improvements, because it's important that you guys can listen and hear what's been said quite clearly. If you can't, if it hasn't made a difference, then I think we're just going to have to just go with what we've got. And then maybe for the next pre-match conference or potential post-match conference, hopefully things will improve. So I'm going to try playing it a different way, and then you guys can let me know how the quality is sounding, okay? So how does that sound there, guys? Does it sound better? Does the quality sound better? To me, it does. But maybe that's just because I'm listening to it through a second device. So let me know how the quality is sounding. Similar to the last review I did with the pre-match and post-match press conference, I will be talking in between. So throughout the review of the pre-match press conference for the match against Guadeloupe, I will be speaking in between. Okay, so before I continue, do let me know in the comment section how we're sounding quality-wise. Okay, let's check the comments to see what you guys are saying. You're saying you're not hearing it. Are you sure? What do you mean you're not hearing it? Let me know, someone else in the comment section. DC George Smith, can you guys hear the press conference? You're not hearing nothing because I'm speaking, but could you hear something before? Like, can you hear it? Let's say now. Can you hear it? You can't hear it. So all along I was sat here. All right, so let's just go back to the original method. You guys are saying that you can't hear it. I'm not really sure why that is. But to be fair, this streaming app's been giving me a little bit of a technical difficulty over the last week or so. All right, so I'm going to play it from the beginning. I'm going to revert back to the original option. So it's not going to sound great, but at least you can hear it. All right, sorry guys, it's the best that we can do, only for tonight's show. Next show I will try my best to get it changed for you guys. Okay.
Kerry James, Football United coach. Not an ideal start to the tournament. You know, obviously with a loss, but you want to talk about the mood in the camp and some of the factors in terms of how you select the team for tomorrow. I know you have a few more players available as well.
Yeah, we've very disappointed on against Guatemala. Not the ideal start. And just said we have to win the next two. And the next one is tomorrow against Guadeloupe. So we need a reaction from the team, a reaction from everybody. The mood is, I think after the game, very disappointing, but the mood is lifted. And we're preparing for the game tomorrow. And hopefully better performance and result.
Well, I guess that's the first bit of positive. If we're being honest with yourselves, let me know if you guys interpret things differently. But it's quite, for me, quite pleasing to hear that there is shared disappointment across the board. Of course, losing 1-0 first game in the Concacaf Gold Cup for us isn't great. It's not the start that any of us imagined. Disappointment all around, especially where the fan base is concerned. And like I said, it's good to hear that disappointment is shared across the board, most certainly where the players are concerned, and also the backroom staff. But unlike us fans, players can't really focus on results in the way that we focus on them. I've said it on different live streams. Yesterday's result doesn't matter, and that is win or lose or draw, or maybe even arguably, especially when you're on a winning streak. For me, when you're on a winning streak, it's probably easier for you to become complacent, and perhaps we've seen a little bit of that. Not even perhaps, definitely saw some complacency in the game against Guatemala. So again, great to hear that disappointment there, having started off the 2025 Concacaf Gold Cup on the back foot. Losing 1-0 to Guatemala, disappointment all round. Little bit of positivity, probably not what you guys want to hear. You probably want to hear something different, but for me, that's a dose of positivity there. As I said, footballers, unlike ourselves, we can't deal with results the same way. They can't afford to sit and beat themselves up because they've lost 1-0 or because they've lost 2-0 or because the game didn't go their way. They got to clear their heads, pick themselves up and go again. So easy for us to sit here. What is it? What now? 2-3 days since the defeat against Guatemala, and we're still feeling downbeat. Thankfully, these are professional players, so they're going to be dealing with this defeat in I should hope, a professional fashion. And the best way, of course, for them to do that is to go out there and bounce back, get the all important 3 points, which is absolutely necessary, because if you don't do that, then might as well just pack your bags. It is, at this point, it is go hard or go home. And we know that with cup competitions, any cup competition you go into, be it at club level or international level, it is a case of go hard or go home. Those 3 points are absolutely pivotal in terms of how you progress for the duration of the competition. In this case, we're looking at the Concacaf Gold Cup. So tomorrow's game is an absolute must win, echoed there by the gaffer Steve McClaren. And subsequently, when we come to match day 3 against we're playing against match day 3, I even forgot myself, Panama, when we play off against Panama, and they're actually sitting at the top of the table. When we do close off on the group stage against Panama, that's going to be another must win. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, and we could listen to the rest of that press conference there, led by the gaffer Steve McClaren.
Question for Roman. It's been a quick rise for you, the national team that called the Unity Cup in England, and now in your first tournament. What are your first impressions of being in camp with Jamaica?
For me, it's a great experience. Playing all the players we have been in Jamaica. They have no ball last year, so really good for me. Playing in London, the Unity Cup, that was really great. Playing in front of the fans in Jamaica, top four.
Scoring on your debut, how did that feel?
A dream come true. See a striker you want to score goals. You're internationally. See you.
Coach Gary Brown, JFF Live. Yeah, coming off the defeat, what are you now saying or doing to the team to get them refocused in Guadeloupe to make sure that focus is there and everything can affect the last game?
Yeah, that's always the challenge. and not just myself, the coaches, but the responsibility of the players also. They're very disappointed after the game. We said it was going to be a different game against Guatemala, and it certainly was. And this one also will be tomorrow. So we've got to be prepared, be ready, and make sure we have that mentality to give a reaction in performance, get the performance, you'll get the result.
Ramon, so obviously tomorrow, new game, a chance to redeem ourselves, yourselves. What is your thoughts as far as tomorrow's match and the remainder of the tournament? What is your personal goal? What are you trying to achieve going forward?
Obviously, as a team, we want to get to the next round. Just on school goals, I just want to be useful to the team and do my bit.
Do you think you guys now playing almost 3 weeks together since London, BVI, and Jamaica and back there, that the chemistry getting better? Do you see any growth from when you first started to where you are now?
Yeah, definitely. Even from when I first started, I felt like it was like family. Instantly kind of gelled and bonded with the team. Just built up ever since.
And Bobby Reed rejoined the team a few days ago. What does that feel like for you, seeing him back in camp and willing to come out and be a reinforcement if needed?
It lifts the team. So having him back seems really great. And obviously, he said that we reinforced the team.
And last question. I was with you in London when you first saw Nikhil Antonio when you asked for a photo with him. Now that you actually get to share the pitch with him, how does that feel for you in a personal level?
It's really great. As a striker, playing next to him, always trying to take anything I can from this game. He gives a lot of tips and instead of me and Warner, so just being able to play with him, a great experience.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Ramon.
We have a couple of virtual questions. Jason Hall, go ahead.
All right, so before we get into that, before this one slips my mind, massive shout out to you guys there in the comment section. I will do your individual shout outs in a short while. Just allow me to get through the last remaining minutes there of the press conference, share my thoughts on the press conference, and then I will turn to you guys in the comment section. Okay, so keep those comments coming. If you have any questions, throw them at me. If you aren't familiar with Ball Pre TV, please do get familiarized. Do subscribe to his channel, and you can take in all the Reggae Boyz and Reggae Girlz content as he produces them. So do hit the subscribe button on his channel, and make sure you also hit the like button when he goes live as well. Okay, so just focusing on a couple of the questions there and the answers from that small bit of section there that we just listened to. I think for me, as we go into this game against Guadeloupe, the big thing will be the mental tests. It's going to be the big question is because again, we're coming into this game on the back end of a defeat, and it was a significant defeat. So we don't really have time to feel sorry for ourselves, and I don't think the players are going to be in a position to do that because, as I said, they are professionals. They're not like us. We can afford to sit here and cry until next week, and for some people, even a month's time, they're still going to be talking about losing 1-0 to Guatemala. But this game, I think, is going to be the big question of the mental test. Can they pass the mental test? I think yes, they can. And the reason why I'm saying so is because we've seen them do this already. It's a different type of a mental test. But when I'm talking about the mental test, I'm talking about the ability to bounce back. And we saw a little glimpse of that in the game against Nigeria in the Unity Cup. Again, going 1-0 down, pulling ourselves back in quick fashion, going 2-1 down, finding the equalizer with an instant impact. So there goes the ability. Can they do it? Yes, they can, because like I said, they've shown glimpses of being able to do that. Slightly different situation. That was a friendly. This is a competitive competition. This is a knockout competition where the points do matter. But what I'm trying to say is in terms of the players that are available to Steve McClaren in camp right now, they definitely have it in their arsenal to go out there and provide that necessary response that we're all seeking. thinking, and it is a case of go hard or go home, or as Baldpree said, go hard and done. If you can't do that, then you just have to pack your bags and make your way to your respective countries where you're probably waiting to go on your holidays with your loved one, which is fully deserved, by the way, because we all know about the football calendar. At this stage, I think it's safe to say that they do, irrespective of our personal opinions of the performance and the players alike, they do deserve a break at some point during the hectic football calendar, right? So for me, tomorrow's game, the one thing that I'll be focused on is that mental test. I don't know if you guys think they can do it, but I most certainly believe that they can, because I've seen them do it. We saw them do it against Nigeria, and hopefully we will see a bit of that mental resilience which was missing from the game against Guatemala. Who do you put that down? So I've been speaking with a friend about this for a number of days now, literally since full time, and we keep saying to ourselves that we're not going to talk about it, but because we love the team so much and we're so emotionally invested in our country, and also with, you know, what we saw in that painful defeat, we're still talking about it. Like I said, you know, we deal with these results different to the players themselves. But for me, like I said, mental resilience, that's the big question. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Let me know what you make of that in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of the press conference and also continue to share my opinion on what's been said. Okay.
Thanks, Simon. Jason Hall here. Jason Hall, TV. First question for Coach. Coach, the midfield has always been a talking point. I think every time we speak, I mention the midfield, right? So I know we've had some additions coming into the team. I just want to know your frame of mind currently with the players we have. How confident are you that the solutions are within the squad currently to kind of give us a better performance than what we saw in the first match?
Yeah, I think it's been a problem from the first day I came in. I think we identified Isaac Hayden as an important recruitment. We got that through in November, and you know, he's been kind of stable in there and stabilised our midfield. And you saw that in the Unity Cup. You saw that in the games. He missed BVI. We missed him in midfield. He played against Guatemala and played very well, and unfortunately, he has to go back. You know, I think long term, when we're looking at World Cup qualifiers, then yeah, as long as Isaac stays fit, we have that ideal person that glues the team together. When he's not, we're searching around a little bit for a solution. And at the moment, we haven't found that ideal.
How does that one sound to you? Do you want me to pull that one back? Do you want me to go back just a little bit just to listen to the gaffer's response there to that last line of question? Let me know if you want me to do so in the comment section. How does that one sound to you guys there? I like the honesty. That's probably pissed some of you off in the comment section, but I do like the honesty, but it's also quite frightening because it sounds maybe I'm over analyzing this, or I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it from a negative perspective, but it sounded a little bit like we're a one-man band there, guys. Again, I do like the honesty in him paraphrasing, saying that Isaac Hayden is the glue that pretty much brings it all together. And it goes back to what we were saying in the game against Guatemala for the live watch-along, that for me, the midfield is the engine of the team, you know. That's the brains of the team. That's the one that pulls it all together. For me, I know you guys have different opinion, but that one is a little bit of a tough listen there. It kind of, for me, sounds as if we're a little bit like a one-man band. Again, I do appreciate the gaffer's honesty. I know probably some of you guys are probably thinking it's not very often that he is honest, but that does sound like as honest as he has ever been, in my opinion. Let me know if you guys think differently, but it does seem like we're just heavily reliant on one player. I don't know what you guys make of the that particular comment there from Steve McClaren. Let me know in the comment section. But also if Isaac Hayden is the one that brings it all together. If he is going to be the one that, dare I say, grabs the game by the scruff of the neck, controls the match, controls the tempo, if he is going to be your go-to man, then shouldn't you at some points or at this point have necessary squad depth if in case the inevitable happens? And the inevitable has already happened, and you can see this one on the screen in front of you. Just to reiterate what's already been mentioned by Steve McClaren, 2 changes have been made to the Reggae Boyz squad for the 2025 Concacaf Gold Cup. McKellar comes in for Isaac Hayden, and also Anderson replaces Mason Holgate. So let me know if you guys want me to go back a step with what was said there by Steve McClaren, or if you just want me to continue. But again, it does sound a little bit like we're a one-man band. You know, seems like we're heavily reliant on Isaac Hayden and his omission. You could clearly see what that means to the gaffer. Let me know if you guys want me to go back a step, or if you guys just want me to continue with the rest of it. I know these press conferences are a little bit difficult to digest. It is difficult for me to sit here and digest it, to be honest with you, but I do think that it's important to listen to what McClaren has to say, even if we feel a bit as if, you know, we're not being told the honest truth, or if there is some layers of transparency missing there. So let me see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Imagineering, these questions with low in the squad, Jamaica is going to win. So are you saying that you want Damian Lowe to play in midfield? I'm not really sure what that comment is all about. So do you want Damian Lowe to be in midfield? I'm not sure. Someone here says, why was Karoy Anderson on the squad in the, you mean not in the squad in the first place? Because he's been called up. He's been called up to replace Mason Holgate, with McKellar replacing Isaac Hayden. Right? I'm assuming that's what you meant. All right. But anyways, moving along, I'm going to continue to play the rest of the press conference there before responding to a couple of your questions. I have seen a number of your questions, but right now I can't answer all of them. But I will go back and look at your questions before I close off. Okay.
It's 6 for me anyway that can play that role, and people have done a great job of, you know, Lati, fantastic. He comes in, he always does a job for us, and we've tried to help the team also with an inverted fullback to give us a little bit more stability in there. And yeah, it is a conundrum. And one that we have to find a solution for. So it's not just what we have now, but it's we're building towards the World Cup qualifiers, and the 6 most important games in Jamaican history for a long, long time.
I will say this: in fairness to Steve McClaren, while he has clearly echoed to us the importance of Isaac Hayden in the team, you know, him being the glue, so to speak. These things take time to materialize, and I'm talking about player recruitment. So if he is looking to the diaspora to, let's say, add those necessary squad depth there for Isaac Hayden's replacement or competition, then it might be a case of us trying to be patient and wait for that right player to come on board. Again, if you're turning to the diaspora, we've seen over the years that these things do take time for us to get some strength in numbers and so on. My issue with that is at this point of the year, what we're in, what is it, the 6th month? We're inside the, you know, halfway through the year. We do have some important World Cup qualifiers coming up at the end of the year. I'm not saying I'm putting the blame on Steve McClaren, but it is concerning. It is concerning, you know, what's happened with Holgate and Hayden. It could happen to anyone. You know, injuries can happen at any point. It could happen, God forbid, it could happen. We've seen it happen, a matter of fact, to our goalkeeper, Andre Blake, the skipper, the captain. But I'm just a little bit concerned concerned, again, stressing on the importance of Isaac Hayden. Have we left it a little bit too late? Whoever is going to come on board, I'd like to trust that they're trying to find those adequate competition there for Isaac Hayden's position, you know, someone who could challenge him so that he doesn't become complacent, because complacency seems like a natural thing, a natural fit for these Reggae Boyz, be it intentionally or unintentionally. But my worry for that is, again, have we left it too late? You know, we're getting closer and closer to those World Cup qualifiers, or it might be a case that we might come up clutch, we might have a little bit of a luck on our hands. You know, we've seen players come into the national side and fit in like a missing puzzle. I know he's out of form at the moment, but one player that I think fitted in well immediately, instant impact when he you know, went through the finalization of his paperwork and subsequently made his debut for us, went on a string of games. That player for me is Damari Gray. We might come up clutch in regards to that midfield stability, getting the right players on board in midfield there. Outside of what we already have, I know some of you are probably saying, I can't see the comment section right now, but I trust some of you have either said it or are thinking, okay, what about Ravel Morrison? It's clear that Ravel, to no disrespect to Ravel, but it seems as if he's a bit like Marmite. You know, you either like him or you don't like him. He's, from what I can see, and this is purely based on observation, he's not one of the favorites. And that's not uncommon. It's not far-fetched at all. We all know managers and head coaches, they all have their favorites. It's the reason why you look at the starting 11 and you see certain players. In one, you're wondering, how did you get a call up? And two, why are you in the starting 11? Because you're not even playing in your natural position. Like you either should play in your natural position or sit on the bench. But the reason why you're doing so is potentially to do with you being one of the players, the coach's favorites, or some form of hidden politics. You don't really know, because there isn't really much layer of transparency there as it relates to our men's senior team. So again, guys, I'm a little bit concerned about that midfield balance there and player availability as we, you know, edge closer and closer to those all important World Cup qualifiers. If we are going to be turning to the diaspora to add some strength and competition to the midfield, I'm hoping and praying to God whoever they have in mind just come into the squad and hit the ground running, a little bit like, you know, your Damari Gray, and just feel like that missing puzzle, because we're literally working with a missing puzzle. Got a couple missing puzzles in this squad, to be honest with you, but the midfield for me definitely is the case of a missing puzzle. Whoever comes on board, hopefully they're looking to recruit some players for that said position. Whoever comes on board, I'm hoping that they'll be able to deliver instant impact. If not, we're in trouble. I am so worried. Like the fan in me, I can barely speak, guys. I'm worried. I'm listening to the press conference and trying to be professional with this, guys, but I'm so worried. Like I'm literally concerned. But I think I've chatted for too much, so I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of the press conference. Okay.
That coming up. So we've always got one mind on that in terms of recruitments again. But while we're here, we're trying to build and get cohesion with the younger players. And I think that's, for me, has been the one massive bonus of the Unity Cup. The World Cup qualifiers, and this tournament gives us a great opportunity to fill the squad with young players like Rahman. You know, we're getting Dwayne Atkinson in, Warner Brown. We're blooding youngsters, Kahim Dixon, Sifas is still a relative youngster. And it's great to see them blending in with the more experienced players. So when it comes to the World Cup qualifiers and the squad we have to pick, hopefully we have players that we didn't see before that we may include. And we've also got players that we're also trying to recruit. And everything is building towards them 6 games. And this tournament is an ideal opportunity to use our experience, bring the youngsters in. And, you know, if you watch training, many around, competitiveness in training with the young players coming in, for me, has been great to watch. The oldies, more experienced players haven't always had it their own way.
They haven't always had it their own way, but they're still having it their own way, Stephen. And what are you seeing in training? If the young players are looking so great in training, why not unleash them? Why are you trying to be Mr. Nice Guy? Unleash them. Give the fans what they want. Give us what we saw in the Unity Cup. In the Unity Cup, especially, again, I sound like a broken record, against Nigeria, the fans were on their feet. All we could do is applaud the team, irrespective of the outcome, irrespective of losing 5-4 on penalties, which it isn't too bad. I mean, penalties can go 50-50. It's either going to go our way or their way. But at least we can say, outside of that decisive penalty there, that the boys held their own. You know, it was an applaudable performance. Not really much to complain about. The only thing that we probably feel a little bit downbeat is the fact that we didn't walk away with the trophy. So what exactly are you seeing in training with these young players? It's one thing coming in the press conference and bigging them up, but why aren't you like putting your trust in them? Why aren't you putting your trust in them and saying, okay, you know, you're building momentum, let's just go with it. It's not broken. Why try to fix it? I don't really understand McClaren for most of the times. I just don't understand him. Maybe you guys understand him more than myself, but I don't get him. I'm trying to understand him, but really and truly, I don't, I'm afraid.
And that's great that the competition is coming through from the young team. So we see that in the future, but we focus on the present, one game at a time. And that is the most important. Guadeloupe tomorrow, that we get a reaction from the team. It's not about tactics, it's not about midfield, it's about a reaction mentality to bounce back, show resilience, and get a result.
Yes, and question for Ramon. After you were picked for the Jamaican team, I'm going to be honest with you.
We focus on the present.
I'm sorry, I had to pull that one back. I'm trying to hear what McClaren said for the last line of questions. So let me just give that one another listen to.
And one game at a time. And that is the most important. Guadeloupe tomorrow, that we get a reaction from the team. It's not about tactics, it's not about midfield, it's about a reaction mentality to bounce back, show resilience, and get a result.
What's he talking about? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit slow. Can someone explain that to me in the comment section? Did he say it's not about tactics? It's not about midfield? I'm gonna play that one back again. One moment, guys. And please, again, I don't understand that. So you guys, can you explain that one to me in the comment section? I'm gonna give it another listen and see if I can like make sense of what he's saying, because so far I can't really make sense of it, to be honest.
That we may include, and we've also got players that we're also trying to recruit, and everything is building towards them 6 games, and this tournament is an ideal opportunity to use our experience, bring the youngsters in, and
it sounds to me that good old Steve is trying to save his own ass, and it's kind of funny. I'll read you a little bit there, Steve, but it does sound like you're saving your own ass, because he's talking about, in my opinion, he's basically saying this is like building blocks, like the Gold Cup is building blocks, and the idea is to use this to build and gain develop a momentum, and use that as we edge closer to the World Cup qualifiers. So it sounds as if there isn't much of an importance placed on the Gold Cup per se. Maybe again he's covering his own ass, because he probably think, what, we're doomed, we're not going to go far in the competition. So at least he's being honest with us in that regard, again expressing that we're just using games as such to build towards the World Cup qualifiers. Don't know what you guys make of what's been said so far, but that's kind of what I gathered there with the response to the last line of question.
if you watch training, and many around, the competitiveness in training with the young players coming in, for me, has been great to watch. The oldest, more experienced players haven't always had it their own way, and that's great that the competition is coming through from the young team. So we see that in the future, but we focus on the present, one game at a time, and that is the most important. Guadeloupe tomorrow, that we get a reaction from the team. It's not about tactics, it's not about midfield, it's about a reaction, a mentality, to bounce back, show resilience, and get a result.
Yes, and question for Ramon. After you were picked for the Jamaican team, I'm going to be honest with you, Ramon, I wasn't following you as closely. And so I did some research and just watched how your career has been going and what you did, especially this season. And I noticed that around January, you hit a remarkable vein of consistency. And I was just wondering, was it a specific moment, maybe with a coach, a game, a training? What kind of, caused this sort of meteoric rise?
I'd say, start of season, it wasn't the greatest. I wasn't really playing, but for me, it was just staying ready for my chance and for a moment. And I ended up getting in January, so I wasn't my second. So when the chance came, I was ready. I just stayed consistent and keep the goals function. Thank you, Jason. Wade Brown, go ahead.
We hear from Eric source. I wasn't as Midfield Jason unfortunately. What are you expecting from Guadeloupe, and how important is this win?
First and foremost, Guadeloupe are a good team. Very physical, but 3 or 4 very talented players, individuals who can cause problems. We need to be disciplined. We need to be structured. We need individuals to step up and perform, and we need a reaction from them to get the result. So this is not going to be an easy game. There's no easy games, I know, but this is not going to be an easy game.
I don't know. Jesus Christ, I'm struggling. It's just not making sense. It's not making sense. I kind of feel like you're preparing us for disaster. Again, it's not about tactics, and then you're talking about discipline. But for you, how do you execute discipline without tactics? I don't really understand that. Like, how does one execute discipline without referring to the tactics, as in the game plan? It's not really making sense. There goes the optimism. If you feel I don't think anyone felt optimistic going up against Guadeloupe after seeing match day 1 defeat at the hands of Guatemala. Maybe now you're feeling a little bit cautiously optimistic. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I am just lost for words, as is usually the case when you're listening to these press conferences with Steve McClaren. It's not really making sense. It's just so unusual. Like anyways, I'm just going to press play and listen to the rest of that, because he's confusing me.
You don't expect in the Gold Cup to do that, these tournaments. So we have to be strong, resilient, mentally strong and resilient, and make sure in both boxes we're good, and in between we make sure we put in the work that gets us the win.
That's good.
We'd like to thank Coach McClaren and player Ramon Burrell.
Why the hell would the players put in the work that gets us the win when you've basically just told us that the Gold Cup doesn't matter? Mind you, for a lot of people, yes, it doesn't matter. Some fans actually went into the Gold Cup saying that we can win it. I don't know which Reggae Boyz they're supporting, but according to some fans, we can win the Gold Cup, and that was pre-Gold Cup tournament. They were quite confident. And I'm not really sure where they get that confidence from. And I've been one of those people to say that, okay, yes, fair play. How are we going to judge this guy at the end of the Gold Cup tournament? Yes, of course, he was hired. He was employed to, again, take us back to the promised land. But how are you expecting to galvanize a nation when you just sound so offbeat? Like, you just sound so lifeless. There's just nothing about you. There's no X factor. There's just nothing. It's just pure emptiness. And yes, like, I just kind of feel like you're just preparing us for when we eventually exit the competition. You just told us quite clearly there that the aim of this competition is to use it as a springboard towards, you know, the bigger picture, which is the World Cup qualifiers. But people are going to be calling for your neck. People are going to be calling to place your neck on a chopping board when you're coming out and you're saying silly little things like that. It doesn't make sense. Like, and you're a coach as well. You're talking about it's not about the tactics. What the hell does that mean? Like, we're supposed to be bouncing back from a defeat, and you're talking about it's not about the tactics. But then you're making reference to Jesus Christ. I don't know. Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Surely I'm not the only one, but I'm trying to make sense of this. And again, it's difficult to digest, but I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm getting a million. It's just not making sense to me. Like, I can't believe that you're a product of Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, it's madness. It's madness. I don't know. I'm gonna listen to you guys in the comment section, because good old Steve has definitely he spun me with that one. So he wants excited and passionate players playing tomorrow with no direction. Yeah, be excited, be passionate, be resilient, but hey, don't worry about the tactics, because it's not about the tactics. You're not making no damn sense. You're not making sense. DC says he's not speaking with much urgency. This Guadeloupe match is a must. It is a must win. He said we're going to take it every game at a time, paraphrasing. But then he's saying the next 2 matches are important. No, Stephen, this match is pivotal. This match is pivotal. You better beat Guadeloupe tomorrow. Come tomorrow, we better be celebrating 3 points, be in Guadeloupe. Because I'm not sure what you're going to tell the fans, because they've placed your head firmly on that chopping board, and they're just waiting to chop it off come full time tomorrow. So you're not really making me feel excited. I'm not feeling upbeat. I'm just like, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's clearly stated to us that the aim isn't to win the Gold Cup, and I would never sit here and say that I expected the Reggae Boyz to win the Gold Cup, but it's just you might as well have just go and participated in even more friendlies. What's the purpose of being here? What's the point of being here? If you're using this to fine-tune yourself, just get out my face, please, because that's disappointing. That is so disappointing. We're way too emotionally invested and financially invested for you to be playing our faces like that. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. See what DC is saying. He's not speaking with much urgency. This Guadeloupe match is a must win, and he's talking as if he's in a wait and see mode. The time for wait and see passed long time ago. Exactly. This man needs to resign. He's an absolute failure. He shouldn't demit office not later than tomorrow. Don't stay around for the Panama. Can you imagine? So what's he going to say when it's time to play against Panama? It's not about tactics. It's not about winning. It's not about winning the Gold Cup. What are you talking about, you silly people? No, I'm here to take you back to the promised land. That's the goal. The goal is to take you back to the World Cup, you silly billies. It's not about performing well in the Gold Cup. What is the Gold Cup? Not the Euros. What happened with the Euros? Again, can someone remind me? We need reaction. The guy said it's not about tactics. I've never heard that in my whole life. If this was Tupper and Tupper said it's not about tactics, you lot would set him on fire. And I'm not saying set Steve McClaren on fire, but if this was Tupper or Paul Hall, you lot would strip him and set them on fire. You would set them on fire. You would spark them up. Talk about it's not about tactics. We know, Steve, it's Concacaf football. We've been here. We know it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. You don't make it easy, Stephen. You do not make it easy. About not about tactics is the craziest thing I've never heard that in my mind. I'm just like, he made me nervous. I swear to you, before I did this live stream, I'm just like, I'm filled with nerves because you've spun my head. Like you've 360, my head's just doing this. Like, what the hell did he just say? It's not about tactics. It's not about tactics. Which one is worse? What did Tapa say? An ugly win is better than a pretty loss? Is that what, something like that? Which is actually worse? It's not about tactics. You go off on the back foot in the Concacaf Gold Cup, which is something that we're not used to, match day one. And then you come in a press conference talking about it's not about tactics, and you're letting us know how important Isaac Hayden is to the team. He's the glue. Big up Isaac Hayden. But are you trying to cushion me for further disappointment? No, Steve. He might resign, and the coach before him resigned after a tournament. He might be gearing up for that. It's not about tactics. It's not about tactics, you silly people. Exactly. It's not a time for reaction. It's a time to focus on aggression, offense, and defense. Well, maybe we're the silly ones because, you know, we don't have coaching diplomas, coaching certificates. So maybe we're the silly ones here. Like we don't really know much. We just sit in our armchair and criticize, and that's the only thing we're good at, really. So maybe he knows best. He's the coach, not us. Always reactive and not proactive. Please, Steve, leave Jamaican football alone. Please, sir, leave our football alone. You are welcome to stay as a tourist with some white rum, but leave us alone. I hope you would at least be more. He's not going to. Look at this guy. Look at Steve. Look at all the press conference that he has done over the last string of international breaks. It's the same tune. We're actually seeing a better version of Steve McClaren in comparison to what we've seen over the last couple of camps. Because I find that when he does the CONCACAF, I find that his CONCACAF press conferences are better than those press conferences there from the friendlies. And that's not a criticism on our federation by any stretch of the imagination. But I just kind of feel like those press conferences there in the friendlies, they are beyond a joke. At least he's got a little bit more of seriousness about him when we're dealing with CONCACAF competition, right? But he's, I don't know, he's definitely he's giving me a headache. He's definitely giving me a headache. Jesus. Okay, well, that's not going to happen. It's not about tactics. It's the friends you made along the way. Jesus. I'm not sure. I am not sure. I'm not sure what that's all about to be. Usually, how many backroom staff has Merrin Gordon been a part of? Because usually when you have when you have a managerial appointment, they usually come with their own team. No, I mean, I'm all for opportunities for Black coaches. That's great. I'm not trying to take food off a man's table. I'm not trying to take food out your mouth, but how is it possible that you have managed to survive the drop on what I think is minimum 3 different managerial appointments? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but surely that looks a little bit suspicious where Merrin Gordon is concerned. I would like to say I agree with you, but as I said, this man was coached by Sir Alex Ferguson. So the joke in all of this is that he has been around a winning mentality. Sir Alex is arguably the greatest ever coach. He needs no introduction. So you've been coached. You've learned your trade from arguably the greatest manager ever. Can you imagine Sir Alex Ferguson coming into? He wouldn't even dare. Let me not even go there. Let's not even go there. I just think start to believe that you're the man for the job. It's really hard. The man said it's not about tactics. Maybe that's AI. Can't be Steve. It can't be good old Steve. I think that's AI. That's actually, it can't be, because there was no intelligence with that one. Yeah, that one was Steve. That one was good old Steve. Sorry, let me go ahead and read your comment again. He was out coaching the last game. Cat and mouse. Cat and mouse. It's not about tactics. I absolutely love it. We're in a knockout competition. We are in a knockout competition. And our gaffer says it's not about tactics when we're trying to bounce back from a defeat in our first match, in match day 1, losing 1-0. Piss poor performance, shocking performance, jaw-dropping performance. Knockout competition where points matter. Your gaffer is telling you that it's not about tactics. It's not about tactics. And don't get carried away, because I wasn't hired to win you the Gold Cup, you cheeky people. I was hired to take you back to the promised land. Pipe down. I am just as speechless. I am just as speechless. Do you have a team, or maybe you can help us get better? Oh, okay. I get you now. Took me a while to understand that one. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Yeah, that one took me out there, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not playing that press conference again. I've played it 3 times, and each time I play it leaves me even more downbeats. So I don't think I'm going to give that one another play. I don't think you guys want me to give that one another play. Disappointing. Severely disappointing. Hopefully the boys are singing from a different hymn sheet, because Steve is on one. He's definitely on one. Yeah, which is worse? A ugly win is better than a pretty loss, or it's not about tactics on the eve of a pivotal game where you must win. Go into that game, Mr. Steve McClaren, without tactics, and you see how that one pan out for you in a must-win match. Go into a must-win match without your tactics, cushioning us for potential defeat by stressing the importance of Isaac Hayden and whatever. Not really buying much of what was said by Steve McClaren, to be honest with you, as is usually the case. But yeah, go into that one there with the idea of it's not about tactics, and see how that one pans out for you. Huh? I need to read that again. Huh? People are placed near the coach to watch his move, to report back to those who want their players in the team. I'm speculating really that it's not about tactics. So you're saying that he's saying something else to us? Are you saying that he's saying read between the lines? Is that what you're saying? Maybe I've read that one wrong. Maybe I've misinterpreted you, but yeah, let me know in the comment section, because maybe I've just misinterpreted you. Whichever the way, either or, it's not good. It's not sounding good, and yeah, I'm losing belief, to be honest with you. George Smith says Merrin is a link between JFF management and the locker room. Carry the news. Perhaps, but it's not encouraging, is it? It's not what you want to hear on the eve of a massive game, one where you must not lose. Yeah, I'm lost for words with that one there, guys. Absolutely lost for words. Yeah, I'm lost for words. It's not good. So what was what were the positive from the press conference? Can you guys think of any positives? I think I only touched on one, in terms of the shared disappointment there across the board. which the gaffer alluded to. So players are being disappointed, as they should be. They should be disappointed. So that's probably the only positive from the press conference. Yeah, guys. Not really sure what to say to you all. I saw a comment earlier on in the comment section, which I'm trying to find. But before I do that, let's go ahead and see if I can give you guys a couple big ups. So Professional Pro Clubs FIFA 20, George Smith, DC, Andre, Max City, Ball Pre TV, Musica Rose. I pronounced that one right. I think it's my first time seeing you on the channel. Paul Watkins, Jerome Blake, King Robert, Brave 876, Danny Dread, Lone Wolf, Warrior 777, First Responder. First Responder, I've not seen you in a while. It's been a while. Flaggy, did I pronounce your name right? Hope I did. Tafari. Big up yourself there in the comment section. I hope you guys are all doing well. Chisari, did I pronounce that one right? I hope I did. If I didn't, I do apologize. King Jav, Dem Oat, 12 Tribes of Israel, Knight Rider, a couple of the usuals there in the comment section. D White, Christine, Vivian, big up from Florida. Okay, big up the guys there from Florida. I think I got a couple of new people there in the comment section, some new subscribers. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are well. Hope your family are well. Hope you're all in good health. So where do we go from here? So who in the comment section is feeling excited about tomorrow's game? Anyone feeling or looking forward to it? I definitely am. I will be. See what you guys are saying. We are known for. We must call it for what it is. Isn't he? Come on, the average Joe. Well, I'm not sure what to say about that comment there, to be honest with you. You sir, 100% correct. Only underperforms in the workplace who are news carriers manage to keep their profile positions. Boy, I don't know what to say, guys. I don't even. What time is it? It's 12:30 a.m. and I'm probably should have avoided the press conference, but I wanted to sit and listen to it with you guys, literally for you guys, not even for myself. If it was down to me, I would just completely avoid the press conference. Big up to the Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. If you have not subscribed to the Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club, I'm not sure what you're waiting on. Please do make sure you subscribe. Please consume their content. Also make sure you hit the like button while you are at it. Yeah, I'm scratching my head, guys. Scratching my head. Jesus. There is no such thing as coincidence. How Crimson was having a problem with picking his players, then coach change, and now it's the same problem. Common denominator. I can't say who the common denominator is. My back isn't broad, unfortunately. So, but I think we're all singing from the same hymn sheet with that one. Okay, well, welcome on board. Hopefully it won't be your last live stream. We're all sat here being a little bit confused. According to our manager, it's not all about tactics. And that is actually taken from his press conference, the pre-match press conference in that big game there against Guadeloupe. Taking on Guadeloupe tomorrow. Not excited. Tomorrow is Judgment Day for McClaren. Well, for some people, that actually means to be excited. Have you hit the like button? You guys are doing me so dirty. It is 12:30 a.m. Have you hit the like button? Please do hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a penny. I think this has been one of my for me, this has been one of my poorest live stream because I can't even give you guys what you're here for. There's not really much for me to work with. I can only apologize for that. Okay. Tactics and what? I don't know, Danny Dread. I don't know. That's a good question. But haven't we used that one before? Haven't we used this excuse before? And also, for what it's worth, the core players are used to playing in said competition, right? I know they're human beings and, you know, environment can take a toll on the body and so on. But I could say, but what about the Guatemalans? What about the Guatemalans? For me, the reason why we lost that game there is just the simple stuff. Simple stuff. You just weren't up to scratch. You didn't want it. There was no desire there. There's no desire to want to beat Guatemala. And they were the superior side. We didn't deserve not even a point from that piss poor performance. So I can't sit here and make excuses. It's interesting that you brought up the Unity Cup because it just goes back to what I was saying. You know, if it isn't broken, why fix it? And, you know, McClaren talks a good game. He's talking to us about, you know, youth and, you know, he likes what he sees from the young lads there in camp. My thing is, if that's the case, why not stick with them? Why not stick with them? You know, the last thing you want to do is knock a man's confidence. You don't want to knock their confidence when they're on a momentum. Be interesting to see what he does with the forward. Do you think that Warner Brown will be dropped tomorrow? Do you think that we could potentially see Michael Antonio start? What do you guys make of that? Let me know in the comment section. So you're looking at the Unity Cup squad, and of course, you know, we don't have Holgate. He's unavailable, unfortunately. We also don't have Isaac Hayden. We've touched on the two omissions there with these two players being unavailable, as well as their replacement coming into the squad, McKellar and also Anderson, respectively. But when we look at this squad, I don't know about you guys, but going into the Gold Cup, I think the only clear substitution there, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it was with the goalkeeper. Us all pretty much in agreement that Andre Blake would most certainly be returning to the States. Not because he is the captain, the skipper, but I think that is one position there. There are very few positions in this squad where you can look and say, yeah, that position is yours. No one is taking that one from you anytime soon. And I think the goalkeeper position is exactly that. So with this squad here in front of us from the 5-4 penalty defeat there in the Unity Cup against Nigeria, I think the only clear substitution for me would have been Andre Blake coming in replacement of Davis. So I'm not really sure what the gaffer is on about. He's seen some good stuff in camp as it relates to the players and their performance from the youngsters, but again, you're making excuses when it comes to selecting a couple of your favorites. It's almost as if they must play even when they don't deserve to play. You find a way to play them, even if it means handicapping your team. And when I say handicapping your team, you're playing players outside of their natural position, and therefore you leave us handicapped because they're playing in a position that's not natural to them. They're bound to make excuses, especially when we have a midfield issue. How do you have a midfield issue and then handicap your midfield? Who does that? Come to think of it, how on earth do you have a midfield crisis and then you think the best solution to your midfield crisis is to go ahead and handicap it? Really? Don't really make sense to me. Doesn't make sense at all. Maybe it makes sense to you guys, but it doesn't make sense to me. See what you guys are saying there in the comment section. Oh Jesus, I'm not even going to segue into athletics. Yes, it has been. It most certainly has been a week for Jamaican sports. I'm not going to be put a downer in the comment section, okay? I'm going to leave it as it is. But if you have been keeping your eyes on athletics, I'm sure you know what I'm alluding to. Big up yourself. Good to see you in the comment section. Thanks, sister. After hearing y'all names drop alike out of manners. The tea literally looks lethargic. It does. It does look lethargic. Definitely looks lethargic. And I think that's something that a few people said on the last live stream. Can't remember who, but I'm pretty sure a couple people echoed the same sentiments. If that's the case, then what do we do? Do we not enter the Gold Cup? Do we turn to other players? Like, what's the solution? What is the solution? And again, we're looking at other countries and they're getting it done. They're playing in the same condition as us. No, they're playing in the same condition as us. So what do we put that down to? How do we solve that? Certain things are out of our control. Surely it can't be a case of give us a different squad each time we're playing Gold Cup competition. Get on with it. I think most people will tell you get on with it. As Sir Alex Ferguson's telling you get on with it. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop making excuses. I think we go out early vacation booking. Here.com. Oh, Jesus. Early exit. The players were too soft against Guatemala, allow them to beat them up and throw them off their game, especially Cephas. You know what? I've heard Cephas' name being mentioned quite a bit, but I think it's somewhat unfair. I say it's unfair because if that's the case, throw the entire attacking line in that fire of criticism. Because without keeping my eyes on the game, I was left wondering, where is Warner Brown? And this is a man that came into the game in excellent form, and he was nowhere to be found. He's a man that's leading the line. For him to fire, he needs to get the service. So I think the attackers definitely put in piss poor performance. It's not just Cephas. You can add Leon Bailey to that. You can add Damari Gray to that as well. It was just a horrific performance, not just Ronaldo Cephas. We need to see more young players up top. Yeah, we tell that to the gaffer, but it's not about tactics. But you can try telling that one to the gaffer. Warner has been playing good. He didn't get exactly King Jab. So I would start him again. And I worry about that. I worry if he could potentially be dropped. I don't think he should be, because again, he didn't receive the service. So Warner Brown for me shouldn't be dropped tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. He's our front man. He's our center forward. You have to give him the service. And on that night's occasion, they gave him nothing. They gave him nothing. There was nothing for him to work with. And if we're talking about encouragement and trying to build on what we've seen of Warner Brown's performance, then I would say stick with him. Last thing you want to do is drop him, because in dropping him, you probably send a message that you don't believe in him. And I don't think he deserves that. I think he deserves a chance, just like the rest of the starting 11 for tomorrow's game, to go out there and redeem himself. Prove himself that he's worthy of being relied upon. He's worthy of being the man to lead the front line and so on. Because he has so far, I think, has proven that he deserved to be the center forward. And long may it continue. It was the best player for the Reggae Boyz last Gold Cup. He the only one was selected to the All-Star team. Where is he now? Well, as far as I'm concerned, he's without a club. Unfortunately, still without a club. Kyrie Campbell should be, he's probably looked excellent in training. And maybe with Steve McClaren, maybe he's saying things to us deliberately. You know, so all this talk about the young players looking excellent in training, maybe he's trying to speak to us. Maybe he's telling us something. Maybe he wants to latch on to something, because you don't then preach the gospel about certain players and then go out there and do quite the opposite, because then people are going to be looking at you and saying, you know, you're contradicting yourself. You're saying one thing and then doing quite the opposite. It's stuff because of system corruption, allegedly. If he can't be a KC not playing because we call sick, lame, and lazy, Jamaican sports is a cash cow on both sides. Pick up yourself, moderator. If you would be more pleasing for Crystal to be titled a princess, no. Starts with the midfield. I've been pissed for. That's what I said. I said to on my last my God, horrendous watch along. I was saying your midfield, for me, midfield is your brain sparks. Midfield is the engine of any team. They're the ones that make it happen. They're the ones that keep it ticking. You know, so if you don't have a midfield, then you're going to have a problem. They're the ones that, you know, depending on who is in midfield, they're the ones that bridge the gap between the line of defense and on the attack. They add balance to your team. If you don't have a midfield, you're off balance. Solve the midfield problem. We're not going to solve the midfield problem, though, are we? We're going to go ahead and handicap it, as we did in the last match. Warner Brown has a great attitude for a striker. He's always doing a bit of defensive work, pressing far up the field. Yeah, he does have an excellent attitude, as does Ronaldo Cephas. You know, these are the guys there that gave us that instant response that we saw against Nigeria. The likes of Ronaldo Cephas, Warner Brown, and Kaheem Dixon as well. And that's what we need for tomorrow. We need that instant response. We need a positive performance. We need 3 points. No excuses. None of this nonsense of, we're just using this as building blocks. If that's the case, why did you come? You should have just stayed at home. Why are you here? You should have just stayed at home. No point coming into the Gold Cup if you're just going to merely use it as a building block. You know, just stay at home. Like up the stream, best female on the block, subscribe to get more of Crystal's first red #1 medal. See, sometimes I'm a little bit slow to these comments. So someone in the comment section asks, is there a way to get in touch with me? Let me see where that person's comment is. It just reminded me that I didn't even answer your question. I do apologize. Where's their comment? I'm not sure if you're on Instagram, but if you're on Instagram, you could send me a DM, or if not, you could drop me an email, info@talawatv.com. So better yet, send me an email. So Talawa TV. So if you want to get in touch with me, that's the best way to do so. Go ahead and drop me an email. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say to you guys. I'm left feeling quite downbeat after listening to that. It's not about tactics. It's not about tactics. So let's take a quick glance over here to see what else I can share with you guys. Let's see. So you're saying my advice is to play 5-3-5-2, cut the wingers and pack the midfield and play through the middle. That's tactics. I like that. In order to use the Gold Cup as a preparation, you have to win your games to advance, and you have to work on your tactics. You have to work on your tactics, because if not, then this is completely meaningless. It means nothing. So it means absolutely nothing if you're not working on your tactics. And like you said, you know, winning games, then what's the purpose of competing in the Gold Cup? What's the purpose of competing in the Gold Cup, guys? So I don't really understand that. Maybe you guys are smarter than myself. I'm probably not the brightest spark. Maybe I'm not the brightest spark. the Reggae Boyz soup. All right, guys. So, food speed. Listen, maybe your back is broader than mine's. They're first responder. Big up you guys who have hit the like button. I'm not sure what to say, guys. I'm not sure what to say. Your gaffer definitely spun me. Not really sure what to say. Let me know if you have any questions. Send them my way. I've got about maybe 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to have to love you and leave you. It's the only way we're going to get out of this predicament. It's too far gone. Listen, I'm not feeling very bright tonight at all. Like I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. Maybe something I should do is not listen to the press conference before I come on air with you guys. Maybe I should just listen to it there with you guys, so then it kind of doesn't dampen my mood. Right, so maybe that's something that I need to do, is just listen to it live and direct with you guys so that it doesn't dampen my mood. So I got what, 1 more minute with you guys, and then I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Who's live from our space? Ryan's live, Jason Gooner's live, DNA Football. Let's see. Let's see. I think that's it. Oh, if you want to find out about the track and field talk, then you can go and tune into Coach's Desk. He did a live stream some hours ago, and he'll bring you all up to speed. I said I wasn't going to be the one to put a downer on your evening, your late afternoons. So you can go ahead and let Coach's Desk give you all the latest update with the track and field and all the happenings. Okay. Trinidad and Tobago playing. Guess we could take a look at a couple of the fixtures there before I close off. I hope we win, else the meltdown is going to be. It's not about tactics, and where these games don't matter because we're obviously using it as a building block. So let's go ahead and so Trinidad and Tobago and Haiti are currently playing. It's 0-0 at halftime. Haiti picked up a red card, so Haiti are down to 10 men. So you guys can probably go ahead and watch that one. So all Caribbean encounter there. You can see that one on the screen in front of you. You can go ahead and tune into Trinidad and Tobago and Haiti. Let's see who else playing. It's a bit of hold on, I think let me disconnect. Let's look at something quickly. Okay, so that's much better. So in less than 2 hours time, you can also watch Saudi Arabia versus USA. It's going to be another game. So should we look at the groups? Let's look at how the rest of the groups are looking. Remember, the top 2 teams sail on through to the knockout round. Okay. That's how the groups looking, guys. So lucky for some, you got Group A. They've played all their 2 matches, and you can see Mexico leading with 6 points in the bag. Costa Rica also has 6 points. Goal difference is only 1 between Costa Rica and Mexico. Dominican Republic and Suriname sit at the bottom of the table, 3rd and 4th place respectively, with 0 points in the bag. And that is from Group A. In Group B, you have Canada leading the charge after playing 1 match. They sit on 3 points. The group is completed by Curacao. They currently sit in the 2nd place with 1 point, as does El Salvador in 3rd place. So this is going to be, this is a good group to keep your eyes on, guys. A bit spicy in Group B, and Honduras sit in fourth place with 0 points in the bag. In Group C, we already know how Group C is shaping up. Panama out in front with 3 points, as is Guatemala. They're both going to be playing each other. Who do you guys think will win, Panama or Guatemala? And behind Guatemala, sitting in third place, is Jamaica, 0 points in the bag. Guadeloupe, our next opponent, or our next opponent, I should say, also have 0 points in the bag. And in Group D, you have 1 game played apiece. This one's going to be 2 matches, so they're going to complete their 2 matches there when they take on each other. Sitting at the top of the table is USA with 3 points in the bag, 5 goals scored. And they are followed by their next opponent, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia sitting on 3 points as well, goal difference of 1. And you can see that clash of the Caribbeans there, Haiti and Trinidad. Currently 0-0. If you want to watch that one, feel free to do so. You can see they are rock bottom, 1 point in the bag each. So that is how we are looking, guys. Can you pick your bracket? What bracket? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does can you pick your bracket means? I think someone is spamming me, guys. I think someone's sending me some spam. I'm gonna have to love you and leave you. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Oh, okay. Okay, I told you I'm a little bit slow at times. Who I think would advance. Okay. Good one. All right. So, Tasha Beauty, big up yourself, Tasha Beauty. Tasha says they better win tomorrow. All the best, boys. They better. Let's see. That is funny. So from wait, I don't think I follow you. I'm doing something wrong here. Hold on. As in from all the groups, or just well, I think it's as it is. So they're fine, aren't they? Mexico and Costa Rica. Canada definitely going through. I think joining Canada. Joining Canada. Wow, this is a bit of a tough. I'm gonna say, oh wow, Dan. Joining Canada. I'm saying it like it's a definite. My mind and my heart is telling me 2 different things here. You know what? I'm gonna go with El Salvador. Let me know what you guys make of that. My heart's telling me Curacao, but I'm gonna go with El Salvador. Jesus Christ, look at this group. Wow, Group C, good old Group C, Panama. Wow, what an embarrassment. I'm gonna back them, even though they've given me no reason to back them. I'm gonna back them. I'm gonna say Panama and Jamaica. And that's just me thinking with my heart. It's not gonna be what I want, but I think it's going to be USA and Saudi. What do you guys make of that? What do you guys make of that? from each group semi-final. You're just trying to keep me here, I see your tactics. You're trying to keep me here for as long as you can. I would be surprised if Panama lost to, but hey, what do I know? You know what? It could happen. It could happen. It could happen, but I think they'll be fine, but it could happen. And you know what? Speaking of that loss to Guatemala as well, thinking ahead of the World Cup qualifiers, guys. I'm sat here talking about it could be a blessing in disguise for Jamaica. It could also be a blessing in disguise for our World Cup qualifiers. It could be a blessing in disguise for our World Cup qualifiers there, guys. Trying to see if I can bring it up. Because surely the rest of those teams, they're probably looking at the outcome of that match and have probably taken some tremendous confidence. What do you guys make of that? So I'm sat here talking about, oh, it could be a blessing in disguise, a defeat that came at the right time, but our opponents there for the World Cup qualifiers might be looking at that and licking their lips. They might be feeling inspired. They just might be looking at that and feeling inspired there, guys. And to remind ourselves, in our group, we have Curacao, Trinidad and Tobago, and Bermuda. So Guatemala has probably gone ahead and inspired the rest of our opponents. There are no couple people have looked at the group and they kind of feel as if we're home and dry. I'm not really sure what planet they're from, but they are, I think, massively overlooking our opponents and their capabilities and their abilities. But while I believe that that's loss against Guatemala could be the perfect kick at the backside that we need. At the very same time, on the other hand, it might have gone ahead and given our opponents there for the World Cup some all-important encouragement. Of course. Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you're doing. I'm familiar with your game, definitely familiar with your game, but I think my time's come to an end. I've been talking with you guys for almost 2 hours, which is not what I bargained for. So I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. And thank you to those of you who hit the subscribe button. God bless you all. Over the last 2 weeks or so, we have surpassed some 200 plus subscribers. So thank you guys there for your continuous support, for helping to grow the channel. If you want to do a live watch along of Trinidad versus Haiti, DNA is he's doing a live watch along as we speak. Jason Guna looks as if he's doing a preview show of tomorrow's game against Guadeloupe. And I think Ryan is also doing the same. Okay, so go ahead and tune into that one for me. I'm going to love you and leave you. Think of chatting with you guys for more than I bargained for. Why, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to leave. You're more than welcome. You are more than welcome. Crystal bracket, the next show. Okay. Okay, boss. Okay. Any final questions there in the comment section, guys? For those of you who have hit the like button, thank you so much for doing so. I'm sorry that this has been one of my poorest streams. I don't really have much to say. I'm feeling so downbeat. But thank you to the 70 plus of you who have hit the like button. Greatly appreciate your support. If you're making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because walking through your doors is an underrated blessing. As per usual, I have built up an appetite, and which means I need to make my way to the kitchen, stuff my face, yada, 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 because I am hungry. Let me try and do something before I close off, matter of fact. And remember, they're coming to tomorrow's game thinking that you're going to get a win, or thinking that you can criticize our midfield issue or the players' performance, because remember, it's not about tactics. It's not about tactics, all right? I'm trying to find something, but I can't find it. I think it's probably because I'm starving, so my brain can't think. See if I can find something before I close off. Don't think I can. Oh well. I'm just going to have to just close off nevertheless. Have yourself a good morning. Thank you. I will. So I've already given you guys the channels there who are currently live. Make your pick, make your choice, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Hope to see you again tomorrow, where we'll be going at it. Hopefully we'll be feeling more like happy bunnies rather than feeling quite sad and downbeat. Thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. Sorry that I wasn't able to lift the mood. Sorry that I wasn't able to give you guys what you probably were hoping for. Completely out of my control. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting on? If you've hit the subscribe button, God bless you. And if you have hit the like button, God bless you also. You know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Tarawa TV with Crystal Davis.